As global shipping routes grow more unpredictable from pandemic-era breakdowns to Red Sea rerouting, Nigeria's ports are feeling the heat. Over 80% of the country's trade flows through just a handful of coastal entry points, many of them overstretched and under-digitized. With the African Continental Free Trade Area promising to boost intra-African trade by over 50% by 2035, the stakes couldn't be higher. The new Lekki Deep Sea Port and plans to digitalize port systems signal progress, but questions remain about whether Nigeria is truly ready to lead Africa's logistic future. We have Dr. Adesuwa Erediauwa, a Senior Research Fellow, International Economic Relations Division. Great to have you in.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's begin with Nigeria's ranking according to World Bank on container port performance. 311th out of 370. I mean, that's abysmal, but let us into how we got there and what the challenges are that are dragging us to this position.
Yeah, it's a number of challenges, and maybe I'll just start by saying the long dwell times in Nigeria's ports, the congestion. Averagely, it's about 18 to 20 plus days for containers to be cleared on Nigeria's ports. And when I say that, specifically referring to Tinkan and Apapa. And remember, those ports clear over 80% of Nigeria's trade. The Lekki Deep Sea is about 10 days, which is still not fantastic. So it's the congestion at the ports, which leads to, is also an offshoot of the long dwell times, and the bureaucracies that involves clearing goods at the ports. Those are the major obstacles and reasons why Nigeria's performance is reported as abysmal. Also the volume, the volume is less compared to about 1.5 million TEUs compared to many other African ports. For example, the Stella one, which is in Morocco, which does about 7 million, or did about 7 million in 7 million TEUs in 2023. So it's mostly the congestion, the bureaucracy, the lack of digitization that all lead to port inefficiency that puts us in that spot.
I will get to what digitization would look like, but in your report, well put together report, you highlighted dwell time being 18 to 20 days. So it takes up to 20 days just to clear goods at Lagos ports. For the average business owner or importer, what does that actually mean in terms of cost and delay? And is this holding back trade?
It could take even more than 20 days, but yes, let's stick with the average. It definitely is a barrier to trade facilitation because those dwell times are not free. There's demurrage costs that's attracted by that. Also storage costs, trucking costs, that all of these costs are passed on to businesses, sometimes passed to the consumer because the final product becomes expensive. In the case of imports, for example, while in the case of exports, it makes Nigeria's goods much less competitive because there are delays in the ports as well for exports. All of that time as well is, we can call it, I call it the opportunity cost in foregone trade. We're looking at 2-3 weeks of opportunity cost in foregone trade, all the revenue that could have come at that time. There's a report by the Export Promotion Council that says that Nigeria loses up to $10 billion business opportunity in business as a result of these long dwell times. So yes, there's a lot of implications for the economy, for trade, for consumers, for the entire economy.
And in addition to that cost, the damage cost that you have highlighted, earlier this year, we know that there were additional taxes that were put in place and we have the Shipping Agencies, Clearing and Forwarding Employees Association call on the federal government to urgently reduce taxes for shippers. They're warning of exorbitant port charges. And when you compare it, according to them, to Ghana, we're 1,233% higher when it comes to the cost that they have to pay. What are your thoughts on, the taxes? Do you think that here in Nigeria we need to look at how much it's costing and reduce some of the taxes at the ports if we're going to push for trade, considering some people are even moving to other countries, right? They're going through other countries and then coming into Nigeria by road. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, that's also part of the opportunity cost, where you have shippers going to berth or offload their cargoes in Tema, for example, in Ghana or in Togo, because first of all, the dwell times are shorter, and then the cost, these tariffs are less. And these are goods that are destined for the Nigerian market we're losing revenue, the revenue we could have made to Ghana, to other nearby ports, and the goods are still coming in to Nigeria. So it's a challenge because not only are the tariffs high, the dwell times are shorter, and especially for the case of exports, it's bad for our exports, especially our non-oil exports, which we are trying to expand in a bid to diversify the economy. It's bad for exports because it makes our goods less competitive after paying such high tariffs on exports. We're trying to industrialize and improve the manufacturing sector of the economy, especially in this in the AfCFTA regime, where it's a big opportunity for our manufacturing sector to increase value added to our raw materials, produce finished goods, and be competitive and export them out. But if there are barriers in exports because of tariffs, or barriers in imports as well, not just export, because a lot of our manufacturing inputs, some of them are also imported. Some of them are imported to manufacture goods. So it does not facilitate trade, essentially. It makes production expensive, and production costs, all of these production costs are always shifted down to the consumer, making the goods expensive for consumers and less competitive for exports.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that we're driving business away and we're even burdening Nigerian consumers the most. So hopefully we see the authorities look into that. Finally, you speak of digitization in your reports. Give us a picture of what digitizing the ports would look like.
Okay, I'll do my best. I'm a researcher. But digitalization would, for me, the big dream would be unifying the entire system like we have in Morocco. Okay, so a digitalization reform will not just be one agency, let's say the customs or the NPA, to be the entire value chain from customs clearance to port efficiency, the offloading of goods or hauling of goods, from the entire value chain from the beginning to the end. One click of the mouse should be able to solve importers and exporters problems. So all the documents that they need, the bill of lading, the Form M, and all those forms they need from the different agencies that collaborate, which sometimes overlap, all of these will be embedded in one system that they can utilize at once. They don't have to make multiple payments anywhere. And this can reduce the time from days to hours. I mean, and this exists, like I mentioned. So yes, that's what port digitalization will be. It will be across different agencies and all forms, all paperwork, including fiscal inspection.
Indeed. I mean, so much needs to be done, and it's impressive how that can just reduce and make us more competitive in global trade. But thank you so much for providing your perspective. I'm putting together this report, Dr. Adesuwa Erediauwa, Senior Research Fellow, International Economic Relations Division, NIIA. And that is it on today's edition of Business Edge. Follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. Head to our website, www.newscentral.africa, and download our mobile app on Play Store and App Store. Till next time, I am Joanna Mustafa.